Why do some people push through their pain and others get crushed by it, get overwhelmed by it? Why do some people decide to change their lives in the face of tragedy, like in the case of the mother that started MAD, which is Mothers Against Drink Driving, and some people who might have lost their sons or daughters to similar situation maybe decided to do nothing about it, or maybe decided to let the tragedy overwhelm them. Why do some people decide to change their lives and stick to it, and other people decide to maybe change their life but get smothered by the challenges and obstacles along the way? These are the things that we're going to discuss today, and how you can create a lasting change in your life using some of the things that I've been using so far that is working for me. So, this is the Strictly Personal Part 10, and we're going to talk about goals, right? Goals, the burning desire to succeed, the burning desire to do something worthwhile with our lives is the reason and is the difference in our lives. I remember when I came here newly to America, I had a goal. I had a goal to make a big impact as much as I can. And I was 17 and I had a grand vision to change the world. And I wanted to, you know, I wanted everyone to know my name. And that was my definition of making an impact. And that was me changing the world. And then as I got older and older, I realized that all I had to do was change myself. And that, my friends, is the biggest challenge you will ever undertake. Trying to climb the mountains of your soul, trying to understand what makes you tick, and trying to adjust those things. Maybe you've learned automatically, but now it's impeding you in some ways, and you're trying to change it, but you can't. So maybe you feel powerless, maybe you feel anxious. And that's the reason you've decided maybe to just let everything go. So you have accepted your life instead of trying to change it. And trust me, it took me 8 years to get to this point of my life in terms of understanding the key to change, in terms of understanding how I can effectively manage my life to an extent that I can be happy with my life, make it more fulfilling, make it more meaningful, make it more purposeful. So the driving reason people change is because of goals. They have goals to change. But of course, some people get crushed by circumstances. Maybe they go through a loss of a job, a loss of a spouse, a loss of confidence because they couldn't accomplish a specific task, and that makes them feel down. And I felt down, right? Because even though I decided to change myself, it wasn't an easy fit. It still isn't, because I haven't completely achieved the goals that I want to. And each step, each challenge, presented me with the opportunity to quit. I quit temporarily, but then the nagging voice of, this is something you can regret, this is something that can cause a crushing guilt that you might not be able to withstand, brings me back to the game again. But of course, I experienced this inner conflict of, okay, I'm back in the game, I'm trying to change, but what do I do to change? How do I stay consistent? How do I keep my path to extend? How do I keep the patience and the consistency that will extend for 5 years, for 10 years? And that's something that I'm working on. And that's something, the things that is fueling me right now is something that I have been consistent about. So the thing that pulls you through is your goals. But of course, if that goal doesn't have a strong reason for you to stay the path, you fall off. Having goals pull you through, but having the reasons is the most compelling thing you will ever do for yourself. So it's time to ask yourself, what do you value more than your pain? What do you value more than the tragedy you're going through? There's some meaning that is hidden within you. Maybe you can be more of a good mother to your children. Maybe you can be more of a good student at school. Maybe you can be more of a productive member in your business. And that's a reason that drives you. And then you find the leverage. For me, my leverage that keeps me steady and course to my goal is the fact that I could do it. And I know that I will regret it if I fail to stay consistent and try to find a way out of my own ruts and challenges. And the way that I feel when I'm not pursuing my goal, the depressed states, the headache, the sickness, the way my body feels, the way my stomach aches, the way that I feel burned, the way that I feel like I'm not accomplishing anything. That feeling, I've been in that state too long enough that anytime I'm falling off track, anytime I'm thinking that the journey is too long, the journey is too daunting, you cannot stay the course, is that the alternative to that would be being in that depressed, anxious state that I just came out of. And that is not an option for me. So that's why I stay consistent. That's why I do these videos for that, so that from my example, a lot of people could learn how to come through theirs. So it's finding one the goal, which for me is to be a public speaker, a life coach, a psychologist, everything tied in one. It's all similar. And then find the reason that I want to do that, the legacy that I want to leave, the contribution that I want to keep, and then finding something to help me to stay the course when I'm slacking off. Is remembering that I have slacked off before, many times than I can count, and being in that state makes me want to change, makes me want to be consistent, and I love the life that I'm living right now. I'm not where I want to be, but I'm anticipating something good if if I stay consistent. Excuse me. So that's something that creates the change. So you have to find that value within yourself, something that you see more than your pain. It's hard to do by yourself, and that's why I recommend having a coach. Right? I have a coach, someone who keeps me accountable, a program that helps me with the strategies and tools to recalibrate my brain almost, to help you to think differently, because that's what you want to do. You want to think and feel differently. And the way you do that is learning some strategies on how to do it. That's part of what I'm learning. That's part of what I do also. So you can reach out to me or find a coach yourself. But if you can afford a coach, if you want to start something today, you can start doing something right now, and that is starting small. Whether you want to lose weight, whether you want to get back to a business, whether you want to excel as a student, you can find something right now to do to start you on that path of getting off the couch, of getting off that depressed state, of getting off that feeling sorry victim mode. You can find something today. Start small. And remember, all you're trying to do is build confidence and self esteem, because that's what drives us human beings. When we feel proud of ourselves, and you cannot feel proud, you cannot feel confident if you're in a victim state, if you're in a state that you think that other people dictate your life instead of you. So find something to do to feel proud of yourself. It can be as simple as eating the right stuff right now: one apple, one orange, one banana. Or you can start as small as walking around the block for 20 minutes a day. This is if you want to have a goal of trying to lose weight. Of course, if you have a goal of trying to be more consistent in terms of pursuing your future dreams, do something right now. You don't have to make a big commitment. Remember, your self esteem is on the line, your self confidence is on the line. So you want to start small. I started small. I started with something like doing 15 minutes of Elevate app. There's an app called Elevate. It teaches you English, improves the way you talk, your vocabulary. And I decided to do it 15 minutes a day. And what is my grand goal again? Being a life coach, being a speaker. Do you think it will be relevant for me to have a good command of the English language? Of course. So that's something specific, small that I started, right? And also learn a different language. I live in a border town. Okay, I downloaded Duolingo app and I'm learning Spanish, and I can speak a good amount of Spanish right now that I could not do before. And when I go out and I practice it and I speak with people, it helps me to be more personable to the people around me. Where does that lead? It leads me having more emotional intelligence, more emotional attention, finding ways to say something different in a different language, and that moves me towards my goal. That's something specific that I'm doing, something specific, small, to move you towards your goal. But of course, now I'm in a master's program and I'm taking a Tony Robbins coaching section class, and these are moves that I'm making. But of course, I didn't start with this many stuff at once. I started with one specific thing. In my case, the Elevate app. Find something specific that will move you towards that goal and keep a consistent outlook on it. Whether you can do it for 1 week, or maybe for 2 weeks, or maybe for 1 month, but start as small as you can. And don't worry about the next step. The next step will reveal itself once you start moving towards your goal. Because step is the key to progress. You have to lift your feet off the first base and step into the second base for you to see what's in the second base. You can be on the fence to look. You will only guess and anticipate. And those things usually go on the negative side instead of the positive. So do what you can today, start today, and then that will move you forward to your future, as it's doing for me. So that's all from me today. As always, be great, follow for more to stay inspired. Thank you very much.